I got your wig, ho. Ha ha, you're mad. Miss Wikiana, Miss Wikiana.
Sutton, you've had a lot of opinions about PK and Dorit's finances. If they divorce, what do you think the forensic accountants will find?
I don't know. Those forensic accountants will get you.
Are you worried for her?
Yeah. If you pretend you've got all these fancy clothes, and you've got all this jewelry on, all these bags, go on trips, and you owe the IRS money, and your house is in foreclosure. I have so little respect for you. And you're having this separation, not divorce, separation, can't decide. All I see are lies. So I cannot deal with that kind of person. And if she had just come to us and say, y'all, you know what? We're in financial struggle. I am in a marriage that's not working. It is much more likable and relatable to me than to just pretend like everything is perfect. And then all of a sudden it's not, and I'm supposed to be, I mean, I don't understand.
So everything's been going good though?
Everything is good, yeah.
The court issues are going good though?
Everything is perfect.
We're gonna work out that money issue then, right?
Oh, there is no money issue.
There is none? Okay.
No money issue. Bye and good night.
Why don't you pay back Ryan Horn the money that you owe him, you cheap bitch? Why don't you do that? You've got money to come to Nassau, no? Why don't you and your con artist husband, why don't you pay back all the hundreds and thousands of dollars that you owe? All that money that you owe. How much is it? 300,000 that you owe? Why don't you give me the money back?
The latest report that the judge ordered the money in the frozen bank account to go to the creditor.
PK's affairs and whoever's coming out trying to say he owes him money, that is from another lifetime ago. It's way before me. It's way before his bankruptcy. It's at the height. And, you know, unfortunately, when you become public, they come out of the woodworks. And that's exactly what's happening. There is far more to the story than what people think that they know. And there's a lot that I can't say, obviously, because it's in the hands of lawyers and where it should be.
People are going to believe what they want to believe. Just do me a favor, don't read it.
I know.
Yeah? Let's do something to make you happy. Let's talk about your closet. If you want to upgrade, I'm down.
I see Dorit running around with very, very expensive clothes. We're talking about some of her tops could be $2,000 to $3,000, and the pants $2,000 to $3,000. That's a $6,000, outfit, not including the diamonds and the shoes. I question that. I question, like, how can you afford that? And she's acting like, oh, you're so horrible. I mean, give me a break here. Get over it. Come on. I mean, I'm not the only one questioning this. The other girls are questioning it too, but they're not saying it.
I really want to see the other side of your head because it's actually incredible. You showed us during a commercial break.
Yeah, let's do it. Let me see if you can see it. Is this a good... It's really
So beautiful.
Oh, wow.
That's gorgeous.
Wow.
Super cool. Let's see it from the side.
That's so beautiful.
How heavy is it? 360.
Yeah, is it heavy?
I know, that's what I was thinking.
It's not. You know what was really, really heavy was that long braid that I had with the chains.
That's tough.
First class in the sky, real high, so happy I could die.
have to actually care about someone, have compassion, like someone, to be worried about them.
I just worry for all women. I think, yeah, it's true. Whose name is on the mortgage? Do you know that?
Do you really think I'm going to sit here and answer any questions that you're asking me?
It's about
your knowledge. I'm talking about you.
I'm talking about the information
you supporting women.
And so I was talking to Garcelle this morning about our conversation at the dinner table last night. My apology to Dorit. I moved the needle, but, you know, I am not apologizing again.
No, I don't think you should.
I'm not. I really meant it, and I just want y'all to know that I meant it, and I wasn't putting on airs. I mean, it was a bad thing that I said, and I really, truly felt badly about it, and it's not like me to say things like that.
You know what I have noticed? I have noticed that you are very critical.
Please do not disrespect
let's
my
not sugarcoat
feelings.
it. What do you need from Crystal?
I don't need anything from Crystal.
Stop it. You need something for Crystal for you to be okay.
She already did it. Okay. The word violate is really crazy to me. What crazy planet do you live on?
Not yours. It's obnoxious.
I think we should put on your big girl panties. Tell her what you need.
Ones.
What do you want from her so we can move on?
Sutton, you said next time I see Erica, I'm going to be honest with her and be straight up. I think she's lied. I don't think she's been honest.
About what?
And you, yes.
About what? God, I'm trying to talk to you.
No, you're not trying to talk to me. You're trying to accuse me of lying, and I'm not a liar. Do you know something about my life that I don't? If you do, speak up. I'm very interested to know. Look at me. I'll go head on with you all f***ing day. I'm telling the truth.
We're in a Joe Pesci movie now.
You said you were going to come after me and my family.
You came after me and my family, so you can get pushed right back on.
That's not an okay way to speak to people.
And it's not okay to call someone a liar. And it's not okay to say someone made a deal with the devil. And it's not okay to say that.
You know what? I have my opinion.
And I have mine. No, you're not going to do
talk about it like an adult.
I am an adult.
You know what?
What?
It didn't seem like that.
What is wrong with my house?
Is there something going on?
What about her household?
Is there something going on? There's nothing going on. There's nothing to be worried about.
I didn't say there's nothing going on. I told you the retreat, things haven't been amazing, which makes it even worse that you would do that. It's weird.
I'm sick of fighting with you.
I
really am. I really am.
Okay,
You've
guys,
already
does
lost
anybody
2
see what I'm
sisters.
saying
Do you want to
here?
lose a third?
I
Name them.
don't know if you're okay, actually.
Name them.
Are you okay?
Name them.
Stop doing that. You're being incredibly, incredibly rude.
How am I being rude?
Well, if you don't see that,
I don't understand the word rude.
you want me to get a dictionary?
I'm here to make peace and to come to an understanding. I don't want you to be mean to me and shoot daggers because I want to be very civilized.
I get that, you say that, but at the same time, the way you were provoking me at Garcelle's birthday, that was so inappropriate.
See how you're doing? Because you were on bed rest.
I still am, but it's all good.
So you're in bed rest, but you're here. Yeah. So that's confusing. You're gonna have to clear it up.
12 weeks ago, I've lost the baby. What about handling stuff?
No.
Yes.
Listen, I mean this because I've had 2 miscarriages, so I understand.
It's more than that.
I know that. What I did wasn't right. I'm willing to say that. I need for you to be able to say back to me that what you did to me wasn't right either.
What did I do to you?
You mocked me when I go on to tell you my own experience of having 2 miscarriages. To say that I mistreat women.
Well, I mean, these 3 women
is a very, very strong statement.
I'm pointing out a pattern in the way you've treated people at their lowest point.
I'm sorry that I ask questions about the only times it seems to really still bother you.
Of course.
And that's on you. It's not on me.
That's on you for doing what you did.
I've apologized.
You have, and I accepted your apology, but you did do it.
Yeah, well, I had a rough day on Saturday.
You did?
Yeah. I didn't really like being called a friend with liability. I did get called by an attorney.
Was that like a subpoena, a deposition?
It wasn't a subpoena yet.
You said that I am unkind to women who are going through at their baddest point.
You are in this group, absolutely.
No, you said to women.
Women in this group, don't get semantics. I'm not talking about the whole universe.
Well, you
I'm
didn't
talking
say
about
in
this
this group.
universe,
You
right?
didn't?
You said you're worried.
You should
if
know.
you're worried for
you
me,
know what
but
surprised
you have
me
to actually
when I got
like
divorced
someone.
that I had two
You have to
baseball
actually
teams.
care about someone.
That surprised me.
Well, that's a nice surprise.
It's
I
a
mean-
nice surprise. But, you know, I had a lot of things that surprised me. And I think that communication in a marriage is so important.
I agree.
Is the house under foreclosure?
No.
I had no idea about it. He told me that they changed the rate. He was trying to get a hold of somebody. No one's returning his calls. That's the way he does business. Until they give him his call back, he's not going to pay.
And that's how you lose a house.
He resolved it. Listen, they ended up calling. That's what he said.
Dorit, what is the status of your marriage and how often are you speaking?
Has like
No.
different timing on how they deal with the things. Could it be that he's coming to some realizations?
Definitely. Definitely could
that
be.
he maybe shouldn't be asking for your input in his life?
Are we not included in this conversation?
I don't know what's going on with him. She's talking about PK, and I don't think things are going well.
It's like we don't like each other. I don't question the love, but we stopped liking each other.
Do you feel like you don't like me?
We were like in Bonnie and Clyde. She was my shadow. We were together. I'd go out. She'd come and stylize the evening, and she'd socialize, and life got in the way. You know, and we had the babies, and then we moved. She could say, well, you were away, and I could say, well, I was working, trying to sustain the lifestyle that Dorit and I live.
You were going through a rough patch, but you hadn't yet separated because
He was in the meeting.
he was in the meeting, and it was a few days after that you guys separated.
Okay, so I would suspect that he foresaw that there would either be a separation or that we were heading in that direction. And this allowed me to have financial independence and, you know, just something of my own. So I guess that son of a gun, you know.
Well, he was right. And also where that's a very supportive act is the truth is he knows that if you continue doing the show and you guys are separated, that you're going to have to talk about it. And you're not necessarily going to say flattering things about him. You're not trying to attack him, but you're giving your truth.
Yeah.
So it still is considerate of him to encourage you to do something that is good for you.
Yes. And I will say that about PK, you know, he's always been supportive like that, you know, and there are a lot of things that I still, you know, love about him and the reasons why I married him. And he's got some good qualities, you know, just a lot more bad qualities. But I do think also that there was a large part of it, if I had to guess, it was more about maybe him not wanting to have the responsibility of having to
take care of you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this at least, it almost gave him more freedom, you know, more opportunity, more possibilities, financially and other.
When you talk to me a certain way and you make me feel a certain way,
not
I
that.
don't like you.
That's not what I asked.
There are times I don't like you.
I was listening to respond. And I don't think that I ever listened to let it sit with me and contemplate, okay, not contemplate, but accept these are his feelings.
When did these feelings come up?
Like whenever I would take over something. So if he was going over a contract that I had, and that's his domain, that's the truth. And it reached a point that, you know, because I had known more about whatever it was that I was getting into, you know, I wanted to intervene and take over. And for PK, you know, that made him feel less than. It made him feel like he wasn't the, you know, the best at it. And I didn't have the trust or the respect.
That's just one example. I just want to understand, PK.
I think I made the biggest change that you wanted. Your biggest ask was to stop drinking. And I did.
You were also extremely candid about how PK's drinking played a part in your separation. I give you total props again for setting healthy boundaries for you and your kids. Did you guys ever discuss how you plan to talk about everything? And was it difficult to talk about his struggles with alcohol in front of cameras?
So, PK had always been a drinker. And I had felt over the years that, the drinking was contributing to a lot of our issues. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult for you to try to get the person who's drinking to see it. Mm-hmm. So it was, kudos to him. I had asked him, when we were working through some of our issues, I said, listen, you need to be clear and I need you to just stop drinking for a week. And he did, but he felt so good that he decided to look into it because I think something clicked and he realized, wait a minute, maybe I do have an issue.
She and PK are getting separated and goes on to say point blank that he is a full-blown alcoholic, which I thought, and he has a sober coach and all these things. And I just thought, wow, she really just put that out there.
Right.
Like I felt like maybe there was a softer way to like throw it out there, but she pretty much was like, since the home invasion thing.
Yeah. Her saying that, wow, that's a big deal because again, one of my biggest issues about filming a show like this is the ramifications of what happens to your family later. Yeah. And while they might end up back together and everyone's intact, like one day your kids will see that. But at the same time, if they feel comfortable talking about it in that way, knowing that he's now sober and he'll get through it, maybe they're comfortable talking about it in a way that they know will have resolution.
Right. Well, I'm glad you said sober because that just reminded me there was a scene with PK and Mauricio and he was, they were talking about, I think at this point, Mauricio said that he had been moved out of the family house with his family for about a year. And PK was, just coming to him to just talk about his situation with Dorit. And he did share with Mauricio that he is sober now because, Mauricio was like, so what happened? And he said, I got sober and I was able to just see things more clearly.
Right.
My interpretation of that was now your life, you're in a fog if you're drinking all the time.
Sure.
And I guess once he was sober, he didn't really love the life that he saw.
I see. Got it. So in this situation, or are they working on it or they're separate?
They are separated.
Okay.
They have decided not to tell the children. And I wanted to know your thoughts on that. Because how old are their kids? Is it
their
10
kids
and 12?
are exactly a year younger than mine.
Okay.
So Jagger's a year younger than Max. So 11 and 8.
Okay.
So at this time they would have been 8 or 7.
Okay.
Like 9 and 7.
Young.
Look, it's easy for me to say I would be clear with my kids now, knowing that it's going to be out there. I'm not in that situation.
Right.
I don't know. I can see that being the case if you're not on television, but you're on television.
Right.
And that is very public information.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't want my children to find out through
on Instagram.
Another child or
another kid. At school.
In a way they're not sensitive to it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like all those conversations need to be had as a family first. But, her kids are homeschooled, so they don't necessarily see other kids anyway. So maybe that's where they felt like they would be more isolated.
Yeah. But I'm sure they have sleepovers and I don't know if her kids have phones. I mean,
I don't know.
There's, so many ways to have access.
Well, that's
now,
what I
even
mean.
For like
a
younger kid.
I just would never let that happen. My kids would find out immediately.
Yeah. If I was in that situation, I always like to just take the situation and put myself in their shoes. I would try to find a way to tell Noelle for sure.
Maybe
because it's all about protecting the kids at the end of the day. 100%. And I feel like when you don't say it, then it's always the risk of them finding out, like you said.
See, I think that's
another way.
I think these are two diametrically opposite parenting styles. In their mind, they're doing the right thing. Like they want to protect their children.
Oh, they both want to protect the kids. They made that very clear.
So
and that was the one thing for sure they both agreed on in this episode.
I mean, whatever issues I have with Dorit and, she's a good mom. Like she cares about her kids, obviously. So she thinks the right thing to do by protecting our kids is not saying something.
Right.
I don't think that would be me. Our intentions are still the same. It's totally two different ways of doing it. I just know that I would be devastated if they found out not from my mouth.
There you go. Okay.
And
all right.
if it's out now, they're going to find out.
Right.
That's crazy. Or on the other side is I was thinking that when you're not really ready to say it, maybe you're not really ready to admit it.
They were getting along, now they're not, but she can tell you. And then the kids and stuff, you know.
Well, she can share it with all of us.
She will.
Well, it's hard. It's, you know, a sensitive topic.
It felt like I was blindsided a lot. And I have to tell you, there is, that's a feeling that I really hate.
Right.
Being blindsided.
Yeah.
At this stage, do you still find yourself being blindsided by things that PK is doing?
Oh, yeah. That is his middle name. Oh, this man. Bless him.
And it's a strategy then.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a strategy. It's not just a personality, it's a strategy, right? To keep you on your toes. To keep you on the back foot.
You would think.
Yeah.
But he's such a reactive person, Bose. Almost childlike. Like, really, he's emotionally immature. So I don't know. Sometimes I think it's strategy. Sometimes I just think it's a personality trait. Extreme. You know, it's very extreme, very black and white, very impulsive, reactive. That's always been PK in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Just not always, you know, in a hurtful or negative place. So, yeah.
As of a week ago, I've chosen not to have much of a relationship with him.
Well, you have to co-parent.
Exactly.
How often is he seeing the kids?
He sees them on Saturday night, if he's in town.
How are the kids?
The kids are great.
And how are they handling you two being separated?
They, you know, they don't know that we are separated, even though,
He's
you know,
not living in the
he's
house.
not living in the house. He has an apartment. They stay with him on the weekend, but they think he's working. He's staying in town because he's got a lot of work there.
Are you scared?
I'm not scared. I'm hurt. I'm sad.
But we were, you know, we were in a really bad place. PK got sober, and we were in a great place. We were communicating.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, stuff starts to bubble up. We could tell that things were still under the surface, and we mutually agreed, okay, let's take some time apart. Instead of getting into the gutter and things getting toxic, let's just take time apart.
PK, he could have been here. He could have, and I was supportive of it. I had said, I don't want to be in a position where it is, you know, only one side is being heard.
Dorit has made several mischaracterizations about me, but the one I must address is the claim that I am a bad father. That statement is both heartbreaking and false. It is deeply hurtful to me and, more importantly, to our children, who, despite Dorit's assertion, will inevitably see and hear all of this.
And how are the kids doing?
They're doing good, thank you. Yeah, they're good. They're happy.
Your daughter is quite the dancer.
She's amazing, isn't she?
She really is.
I know.
So good.
I mean, she's so good, but she's so committed.
Yeah.
You know, it's just in her. You know, she loves it.
She loves it.
Yeah, loves it.
How have the past few months been for you? I know it's been a tough
Well,
season.
it's tough because we're reliving
Yeah.
what was 10 months ago. You know, I think I know Dorit's on Watch What Happens Live tonight. So, yeah, it's tough, but we're getting through it.
Do you feel like you guys are in a better place now? Have you kind of worked things out a little bit?
We are in good places, bad places. We're going through what every couple goes through. You know, it's not easy. But it's not horrible either, you know.
And how are the kids doing?
Dorit, she's still fabulous, you know.
She's very chic.
She's very chic, very chic. Yeah, but the kids are good, and we're working together with the kids. And we took them to Disney, and we celebrated the birthdays together, so that's all good. Yeah.
Those closest to us know the truth. Many have wanted to speak out, but I have asked them not to, because the truth should never need a champion. Kyle, do you think fame has changed Dorit?
I think this season I saw a Dorit that I didn't know. I mean, I think you perhaps would even agree with that yourself. I mean...
Well, I mean, listen...
What's different?
I think everything seemed different. I mean, of course, was angry and now she's turned around that I've done all these things, that she doesn't even actually have something solid. But there's some people that just want to see the worst in you.
For Kyle and I, she hadn't been somebody that I could lean on for a sustained period of time. I felt like I reached a point where I want to be around friends of mine that I'm calling my friends, my true friends, my good friends, people that are, that I would move heaven and earth for, that it's reciprocated, that it's real. And I had felt like there was, for a sustained period of time, for a good couple of years, there was a fracture in mine and Kyle's friendship that felt very disingenuous. Do I need to reevaluate this friendship? Are the feelings mutual? Some of the things that were said publicly were very hurtful. And, it was our friendship that was, on blast. So I wasn't prepared to go into this season or go into another year with Kyle without, sitting in front of her and saying, okay, you know what? It's time to put it on the table. Let's be real. Let's be open. Let's be honest. Because if we're not friends and we're not going to be, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I don't want to pretend like we are.
I want to go and have fun. Otherwise, what's the point of me going? I have enough on my plate right now.
And maybe it becomes a better friendship. And maybe you'll, because this happened, be able to really help her.
I heard what you were upset about and why you thought it was okay for you to say publicly that I exaggerated our friendship.
I was reacting to the way I felt I was being treated by you.
I know. The stuff going on between her and I is also layered. And basically, Kyle sort of isolated me. And months and months
What was
and months
she mad
went
at you
by.
for?
No, there was stuff that had happened off camera that just, made me question what kind of friend she really is. And so we came into this not in a good place.
You didn't speak to me for months. Why not just come to me and say to me, Dorit, I'm mad at you for this. Dorit, I'm upset with you for this.
I didn't have it in me.
No, you were cold. You were distant.
I was struggling, Dorit.
That doesn't mean because you're struggling, you can just treat me like The BravoCon. I mean, you said you were really, really hurt. And I thought, I have to go back and see it because you said, it's public. And I showed it to Erica. I showed it to Kathy. Erica, was surprised by it. So what's going on with you?
I spoke to Kyle today, and I said the BravoCon thing to me does not strike me as something that was planned or malicious.
Surprise how?
I think she thought that it was going to be a lot worse. It's very clearly meant to be a joke.
That was one of the little pieces. There's many pieces to the puzzle. That's one piece.
I heard
it started there. There was a lot of things.
You're trying to make fetch happen, and I just want to know why.
I'd like to know why.
I'm not trying to make Teddy happen. She's very much happening in our lives. And the Teddy that we know is not like the Teddy that you see on television.
You're Teddy's friend. You've always been friends. You wouldn't say anything because it's not the popular thing to say. And you're too worried about what people are going to think.
Kyle,
instead
I'm
of
not
speaking
you.
the truth. For me, it was extremely frustrating that she just will not take accountability for anything, ever. And I just wanted her to acknowledge something. Even with her saying, when I said, that says a lot about her character, that she did not want to defend Teddy at all.
That's you.
No,
It's
that's
always
not me,
been
Dorit.
you.
Oh,
I'm the
really?
one who always tells
Really?
you, Kyle, don't pay attention. I don't give a flying F
Really?
what anyone's
Really?
opinion is.
So that her being mad at me because I didn't stick up for a friend, mostly of hers, it just felt like a big stretch. It's not to say that she can't have those feelings. I understand. But we had reached a point in our friendship, right, where I was on the outside. She had not spoken to me. There was very clearly, a big reason. We were good friends.
Yeah.
And how do you go from that to being totally isolated and then say that the reason is because I didn't stick up for Teddy on a stage where I didn't want to give any life to some troll?
I still consider her, a close friend of mine. But like I said, like you put yourself in that category of not being that close of a friend of mine by saying and doing those things. I don't think you are that person. I don't, okay?
Well, you've spent the last few months making sure every talk show and radio show and everything you do,
Well, they asked,
you're making
who hurt you?
sure
What happened?
that you are painting me as that girl.
I felt hurt by things that were said in the season, and then at the reunion, the text being read was very hurtful to me. And she said that I was being manipulative, and it was actually the complete opposite. I was actually being very forthright and saying, you know, I have a lot at stake here right now, and this is really hard for me, and I have a lot on my plate. I know what's coming at me. Like, you and I, these are stupid arguments. We don't need to do that too. I did not know at that time that she read my text message, and that was private. And I was really shocked by that. But with that said, and I don't want that to be the headline tomorrow, but you know, she's someone that I care about and her family, but it's just gonna take me a minute.
And it's the most hurt you've ever been in 13 years by any friend ever in the entire world.
Don't exaggerate. Don't exaggerate.
Erica, who actually read the text message and agreed. Do you have a problem with her?
God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Can you let me talk?
So used to it's aggressive with me.
You'll
I
fall
kind
back.
of yeah, like you've made me feel like, is this friendship even worth fighting for, let alone being walked all over for?
I just thought, hey, well, I don't think this is going anywhere. Maybe it's time to just walk away from this, honestly. Because I can be patient to a certain degree because I know what she's going through.
And then you check out.
And then I'm like, you know what? Now you're just another problem for me in my life that I don't need.
Obviously, you and Kyle have had your ups and downs, and you guys did not end last season in a good place. And you had a conflict at the reunion, and it hadn't completely died down. And then it was struck in the first episode that you guys see each other for the first time in a while. And you're not ready just to move forward. Like you felt a very certain way about things, and you let her know that.
I had a lot of things that I had not shared with Kyle, feelings that I had that I needed to get off my chest. And the only way I was able to move past our differences or to move forward with her was to not only express how I felt and really feel comfortable to do that, but also feel like it's heard, it's understood, and it's appreciated. And it took a minute for that to happen. But I knew that I personally wouldn't be able to move forward unless I was able to say exactly how I felt.
Why do you think that you and Kyle had gotten to that point in the first place? Why do you think that you guys so got under each other's skin and had all of these built up feelings that became an issue between you?
You know, there was a period of time, it felt like, and I couldn't even quantify it if it was a year and a half or 2 years, but I felt outside of her inner circle. And that was the first time. It felt like our relationship was strained. And it wasn't my choice. It just felt like I was put there, you know, and she had a close-knit group that she did things with, that she talks about, you know, they like to exercise together and go for walks and things like that. But I really believe that Kyle and I had a very close friendship. And so when, you know, you don't feel as close to somebody, and I know she was going through a lot of things. So I gave her a lot of grace, and I understood, and I didn't want to press and push. But then after a sustained period of time, you start to feel like, wait a minute, what kind of friendship is this? And then when things like what she had said publicly, you know, on Amazon Live, that I had exaggerated our friendship, that felt like the final straw for me. And it just felt like, okay, this isn't a friendship to me. It certainly isn't with the way I feel. So I'm not losing anything. And so I felt it was necessary for me to finally tell her all of the things that I withheld because I didn't want to fracture our friendship. I didn't want to say something that was going to have her not speak to me for 5 months, because that's what ends up happening if you upset her. But when I realized that that was happening even without me being honest and open, it just felt like there's no way for me to actually get the friendship that I thought we had, a true friendship, without being totally honest and open. And I think she was surprised.
Do you think also the fact that you guys would spend time together as families and then all of a sudden those situations changed impacted your friendship?
It really shouldn't have, because Kyle and I spent equally as much time, just her and I. So our friendship was strong enough and tight enough that we also spent time as families, and obviously the closer that Mo and PK got, the more fun it was. But we had an independent friendship.
Do you think it was a challenge that PK and Mo were that close? Do you think that that was difficult for you and for Kyle separately?
No, it shouldn't have been. If anything, it should have kept us closer. But no, and I don't know I fully understand the reasons, even though we've gone through it, but she had her personal reasons, which you'll see in the show, why she kind of kept a distance. But I felt that distance. And also, if you're not sharing with somebody why you're upset with them and you're just treating them as if you're upset with them, it's not right. It's not fair. And it's definitely not a real friendship. So this had built up, and Alex, I had little feelings that became bigger, that started to fester. And, I much like a lot of the feelings I had within my marriage, I was keeping them inside, much like the feelings that I was having when I was going through the worst of, the PTSD after the home invasion. I was keeping it inside. And I just felt like I needed to be unburdened. I needed to be free. I needed to be whole and strong. And quite frankly, the people that, one thing you get with age is you have the freedom to be able to choose who you want to be around with. In your 20s, even in your 30s, it's about friends and you can put up with a lot of things. And I've reached a point in my life that, my children, they're everything. My friends, my close friends, my real friends, they're everything. And they're family to me. My family, same. But I don't really want to spend time. I don't think I have the patience, the will, the desire anymore to have fake friends. I can have acquaintances and I can have good time, but people that I call, my sister and good friends, people that I would give them the shirt off my back, I would be there in a heartbeat. I want to feel like that's real.
Do you think that your friendship with Kyle is real?
I think it's been tested. I think that there's a lot of deep hurt. I would like to think that it is, but you'll see.
I felt like you were exaggerating a lot of things about me.
Really?
So then when I saw those comments about PK, I was like, maybe she's exaggerating that.
What did I exaggerate about you?
I think we're going to get into that.
We'll get to that.
Well, just because it's at the top of your mind, I don't want you to forget. I'm just curious what I exaggerated.
When you acted so upset at Sutton's, you didn't even know I had sent PK a text yet.
I wasn't even talking
By the way,
about
I
the
also
text.
I have a question, though. So Garcelle came over, right? And, we had talked about that now infamous text. I was like, man.
Last night,
What?
Kyle read the text.
And I'm not going to get to a point in my life where I am, having to pull out my phone and
Yeah.
because I'm an adult. That is what I wrote to him.
Hell no.
That part.
I don't understand. I can't compute.
There's no
My brain is like, carry the 5, divide by 3. And then I'm talking to Garcelle, and she's like, oh, well, Kyle read the text to everybody. Garcelle came over, and one thing that she brought up that disturbed me is that I think there's more to the texting with PK than maybe I thought.
She said more than continue sending me funny names, so.
Yeah, no, she said
I will remember.
Yeah, you just stepped into it.
I know, I gotta hear what you said.
Okay, well, you can't come and do that. I'm so stressed.
I was
gotta
getting
stop making it seem like it was weird.
And she was like, well, wouldn't you think it was weird if she was sending text and then she didn't show me what the text was? And I was like, only if you think that there was something in the text.
I don't know where, I'm not gonna sit in the sun. I'm gonna sit over here. What's going on?
I just can't do this anymore. I really can't.
Tell me.
Everybody tried to make it look like I've done something
You have
wrong.
not done anything wrong. This is why I
I'm not
said.
going to be made to do this. I mean, every time I come out to do this, go through this, why would I want to be here? I'm wrong to read the text.
You're
I'm
never
wrong
going to
because I didn't read the
satisfy
text.
anybody. You're
I explained
always...
exactly verbatim what the text said.
What's your response to Kyle questioning why you took it upon yourself to tell her that she needed to share the text with the whole group because you don't know anything about her friendship with PK and Dorit?
Oh, and then she takes a sip of wine. Okay. Well, it is my business because she made it my business. She should never said anything if she didn't want it to be my business.
I've been made to feel like I did something wrong, sending a text to PK. So I said, I'm going to read this once, and that is it. And then Bo said something today that it made it seem like maybe it was something weird. So obviously, I'm showing it. I have nothing to hide. It says he makes a joke in April. The next text is not till the day you guys got separated. I said, I know you have a lot of friends. I'm also one. If you need me, I've never repeated anything you share.
PK makes a big effort, he's more outgoing in that aspect. So, and he was my friend. 10 years he's my friend. You know what I mean?
I get it. But if push came to shove, who's your friend?
Obviously, I would side with the women always.
If the shoe was on the other foot.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
OMG. Woo! Would you be okay with it? And I can tell you, hell no.
A reaction to the text message that was read aloud?
At that moment, I'm processing so much. I just remember her reaction at the Viper Room was so surprising. And then the fact that she shared the text message with the girls, everyone but me. And then to hear the message where it was very far from a meme, and it was actually completely contradictory to what she'd been saying from the beginning.
No,
Erica,
this is disgusting.
Erica, okay, for a little walk.
I mean, literally, look at all of us, our age and what we're doing to be confronted like this every day about this stupidity.
Kyle.
Everybody honestly should be ashamed of themselves. Seriously. Ridiculous.
Guys, can I have a minute?
I cannot keep doing this. I really can't.
Okay, let's just not talk about it for 1 second and just take a deep breath. You guys, what triggered this?
All of it. It's been building. The whole thing. Like, all of it.
And now she's turned around that I've done all these things, that she doesn't even actually have something solid. But there's some people that just want to see the worst in you.
For Kyle and I, she hadn't been somebody that I could lean on for a sustained period of time. I felt like I reached a point where I want to be around friends of mine that I'm calling my friends, my true friends, my good friends, people that are, that I would move heaven and earth for, that it's reciprocated, that it's real. And I had felt like there was, for a sustained period of time, for a good couple of years, there was a fracture in mine and Kyle's friendship that felt very disingenuous. Do I need to reevaluate this friendship? Are the feelings mutual? Some of the things that were said publicly were very hurtful. And, it was our friendship that was, on blast. So I wasn't prepared to go into this season or go into another year with Kyle without, sitting in front of her and saying, okay, you know what? It's time to put it on the table. Let's be real. Let's be open. Let's be honest. Because if we're not friends and we're not going to be, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I don't want to pretend like we are.
I heard what you were upset about and why you thought it was okay for you to say publicly that I exaggerated our friendship.
I was reacting to the way I felt I was being treated by you.
I know. The stuff going on between her and I is also layered. And basically, Kyle sort of isolated me. And months and months and months.
What's she mad at you for?
No, there was stuff that had happened off camera that just, made me question what kind of friend she really is. And so we came into this not in a good place.
You didn't speak to me for months. Why not just come to me and say to me, Dorit, I'm mad at you for this. Dorit, I'm upset with you for this.
I didn't have it in me.
No, you were cold. You were distant.
I was struggling, Dorit.
That doesn't mean because you're struggling, you can just treat me like The BravoCon. I mean, you said you were really, really hurt. And I thought, I mean, I have to go back and see it because you said, you know, it's public. And I showed it to Erica. I showed it to Kathy. I mean, Erica, you know, was surprised by it. So what's going on with you?
I spoke to Kyle today, and I said the BravoCon thing to me does not strike me as something that was planned or malicious.
Surprised how? I think she thought that it was going to be a lot worse. It's very clearly meant to be a joke.
That was one of the little pieces. There's many pieces to the puzzle. That's
No,
one
I heard.
piece.
I heard
It
all the
started
things.
there. There was a lot of things.
She was very, very upset, very emotional. I would like to see us I would like to see us be able to have conversations and it not be, you know, one little wrong move and then a big blow up and I'm done. I would like to see us rise above it.
I left that thinking, I'm done. I don't need friends like this. I don't need the money.
To me, I'm like, hey, look, something doesn't add up.
Bo seems to really just only see through Dorit's lens everything because they spent time together. And Dorit was just coming at me nonstop. And then Sutton and Garcelle, who are my friends who know who I am, were all of a sudden backing up with Dorit, which makes no sense because they're always coming for Dorit. And then I have, you know, Erica, the only one who was standing up for me.
I still care about her and I still have a heart. And I felt in that moment, the best person to be able to take her out of that hypersensitive place would be me because I'm the one that she's offended.
They wouldn't have done that for you. I promise
No.
you that. This is a very new type of environment for me. Because of the positions I've been in, I look at conflict and I try to resolve them immediately, right? Because that costs money when you're in the corporate world. And so I look at Dorit, because I see her in conflict with you. I see her in conflict with you. I see her in conflict with Kyle. So I'm like, the common denominator, her. So how do I get...
Bitch!
Look, it's true. There is an innocent party. It is not Kyle here. In this situation, something was going on, and she didn't want to reveal it.
I mean, can you imagine if we're sitting there and then someone says, put your phone down and let's read this message?
You? No, I am not doing it.
I mean, are we in school and we're
Well,
the principal's
first off,
office?
who are you? You need a warrant to open my phone.
And does that mean you're hiding something?
Maybe, maybe not. It's none of your business.
I also think it's suspicious that when we were talking about it at the Viper Room, she didn't want to show anybody a text.
There's nothing inappropriate going on between PK and Kyle. I have to say that. But I have to. I have to get that off my chest because I feel like people are going to try and squish this in a
Well,
box.
that's what I was also thinking, which is why I was getting more offended. I'm like, are they trying to say that this is inappropriate? I mean, that is so ridiculous.
The thing is, PK and Dorit are going through a separation. Mauricio and Kyle are going through a separation. It can't be as it was. It can't be like, oh, PK sends the funny memes and, you know, we have that jolly relationship. Because obviously it's disintegrating. The foursome as a friend group is disintegrating. So things are different. So you need to rethink what's appropriate.
I have no problem, you know, not, you know, sending any memes to PK. I'd already said that to Garcelle and Sutton. I just thought, wow, they're just not going to let this go.
Well, I've been texting Mauricio for years, so I'm just kidding.
I want to live here.
So,
So tell me about yesterday.
Listen, yesterday was intense. It was very much a to be continued. I know what the text says. I know what the text means. I know what Kyle is trying to suggest it means, but I think that that's very much a cop-out.
It could be as innocuous as, I would never talk about anything we've discussed.
She's talking to my husband.
Because I actually cared about you and felt bad that you guys are separated, but you chose to see the worst in the situation instead of saying, Kyle,
you
reach
keep
out to me.
missing the whole text message thing. Is this about you justifying the text message thing?
Did you reach out to Dorit?
No, I didn't.
Did you?
No, and I know why I didn't.
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
Ew. Like JK, but like maybe not. But thank you for watching. But you hating ass bitches always have something to say. Hating ass bitch, but you're still watching my vids. What? You're so upset. But that's like okay, because have a piece of bread, have a Xanax, relax, because I said what I said.